Hello, beautiful friends. This is the Organizer Advisor. My mission is to help you enhance your happiness and transform your life. I am a professional organizer and certified life coach, and my goal is to dovetail these two strategies into helping you improve your home, create a soul sanctuary, to improve and increase your sense of well-being and your health, and to just be able to cultivate joy and make your life the life you've always dreamed of. So today we're going to be talking about enhancing our space with plants. But as a de-influencer, my goal is to help you use items that you have already to be able to add plants to your living space. So go get your hydration beverage, meet me back here, and I'm going to share some tips with you. Let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about is why we want to enhance our space with plants. Plants serve an important purpose. They help to detoxify the breathable air in our home. Now, your home air is filled with toxins from cleaners, from products that we use, from cooking oils, and they linger in the air, and they serve as some sort of a pollution, and we don't want to breathe that. Plants help to detoxify the breathable air in your home. Now, of course, at the beginning of every month, we change our HVAC filter so that the air is cleaner, and that's going to help to trap some of the dust and pet hair and dander that is in our living space. However, it doesn't really clean or detoxify the small particulate matter in the air, and that's what plants do. They make our home air safer for us to breathe. They breathe in the carbon dioxide and release oxygen, and we partner with our plant friends in order to make our home air healthier and more breathable. Now, remember, I'm a de-influencer. My goal is to help you use the items that you have, not encourage you to go out and buy more things. You're probably here on this channel because you have a lot of things, and you're just trying to find ways to utilize them to reduce clutter, reduce your stress, and that's my job, is to help you. So we're going to talk about some of the things that we can do to create some very inexpensive plant arrangements so that we can put them throughout our home. Plants, the presence of plants uplifts our environment. It brings the outdoors in. It makes us feel more connected. It's a sign of life. It brings life into your home. So imagine your space with no plants. You see, you're in my home every single day, and you see that I have a lot of plants. Plants make me happy, and we make plants happy, and the happier that we have a relationship with our plants, then the more healthy and more uplifted we're going to be. So we're going to talk about some of the things that you can do to bring plants into your home. Plants can be very inexpensive, and you can start small, and they grow. So you can buy a small plant, and in a year you have a substantial plant. But let's talk about things that we can use that we already have to put some plants in our home so that we encourage this plant partnership. Now, you don't have to go out and buy expensive planters, pots. You can use items that you already have, and I'm going to show you a few. I'm going to start out actually with this one because it's actually not my favorite piece, but this little planter belonged to my grandmother, and it was going to be tossed, and I was like, no, you know what? I'm not ready to get rid of that. It has a sentimental attachment. I don't have a lot of things from my grandmother, and so this was just one of those little things she bought. It's an antique, and so I just put a little fern in it. And I like to put a little bit of moss around my plants, and this just brings that little plant partnership into my living space, and it utilizes this not so attractive swan base, but it does have a sentimental value to me, and I'm not going to purge it, so I'm going to use it. So this is what I chose to do with it. Now, let's take just a moment and talk about the care of our plants. The first thing is don't overwater. And if you're going to use a plant pot that doesn't have a lot of drainage, then you want to water less. Make sure that you just give the plant enough water in order to saturate the roots temporarily. Now, I have this plant in a little pot, and then I have some gravel in the bottom, so it's not sitting in wet soil the whole time. And that's a tip that you can use if you're using a pot that doesn't have drainage underneath. Now, if you're going to use a pot that has drainage underneath, like holes in the bottom so the water can go through so that your plant doesn't suffocate, then you're going to need to use a protector if you're going to put it on your furniture. So that's item number one. The second thing that I did was I used, this is a utensil caddy, and my theme, whoops, let me turn it around. My theme in my kitchen, my little cottage kitchen, is roosters. And so I had this utensil caddy, but I wasn't using it for utensils. So what I did was I put some rocks in the bottom, some pebbles in the bottom, and then I have a little potted Christmas cactus. And you can see this little baby is thriving. I keep this in my kitchen. It goes with the theme of my kitchen, the kind of the rooster country cottage theme. And it just adds that really pop of life and green and the growing. When you see a plant grow, it makes us happy. When we see things grow, when we nurture things and they thrive, that makes us happy. So that was item number two. Again, we're just using items that we have on hand. Now, this was just a simple little dish that doesn't match any of the dishes in my dish sets. So I bought this little staghorn fern, and I put it in this little dish. Again, put some moss around it, so I just don't like looking at bare soil. I kind of like the transition of the moss between the plant and the pot. Again, this doesn't have drainage in it, so I'm going to be very careful when I water it. But this little plant is thriving. It was only this big when I purchased it, but see how it's growing so nicely. Seems very happy. This is also in my kitchen. Another little pot, when my mom passed away and they were cleaning out some of her things, I found this little pot, and it says, "I love you, Mom." I think I gave this to my mom when I was like 7, and she kept it all of those years. And so I put this little succulent in it, and it was just one, but you can see now it has multiplied. This is right in my kitchen window, so every time I go to do the dishes, I look at the "I love you, Mom," and I think about my mom. Sometimes you can use a soilless planter. There are a lot of plants that will thrive in just water, and they can add a lot of green to your home as well without the dirt or the mess. Like if you have pets like cats or puppies that like to tear the plants out, these plants are this is a pathos ivy, and this is a spider plant. They grow well in water. They'll root, so then you can plant them in soil if you want to. But this is just a little vase that I got at a thrift store. I really liked it because it's very heavy and substantial, but I didn't have anything to do with it. The flowers don't really work well in this vase. And so I use this just for my cuttings so that I can root and create more plants, but it also has a decorative quality. And while we're talking about pets and plants, you want to make sure that the plants that you have in your home are pet safe. like poinsettias and sago palms are poisonous to cats and dogs. So you want to make sure that if you have plants that are within reach of your pets, they are safe. You may want to look online for some of the plants that are pet safe so that we don't have any kind of accidental ingestion from your pet eating the plants. So you want to make sure that all the plants in your home are pet safe. Okay, now I want to talk about larger dish gardens, and I like plant marriages. So this, if you can see, is just this was a beautiful enamel and pewter. I used it as a fruit bowl for quite a long time, but it took up a lot of space in my cabinetry. So I decided to turn it into a dish garden. So I have a variety of ferns and some ivy, and I have some spider plants. And this just kind of sits in the window. It goes actually right behind me in that east window, and it seems to be thriving there. You can see all this new growth, but it just makes me happy because A, I didn't have space in my cabinetry for something this big. B, I really wanted to use it because I love this piece. I paid $15 at a garage sale for it, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's got a nice enamel basin, and then it has pewter touches on the bottom and around the rim. And I love pewter. I think it's a warm metal, and I really enjoy bringing that into my home. So I created a dish garden. Now this has a plastic liner in the bottom, so it's not going to ruin or craze this enamel, but it serves as a beautiful dish garden for my east window. So, oh, one more thing I wanted to mention. Make watering your plants an experience. Get yourself a nice little plant waterer. You can use, I have fish in my home, so I use that fish water as fertilizer for my house. So like if you have a betta bowl or a fish tank, you can take that aquarium water or that betta bowl water and put it into your waterer, and you can water your plants with that. That's going to help them thrive. I also can use some of my bird bath. You hear my bird back there? She has a bird bath. When she takes a bath, then I can use that water. I have to dilute it because it can be very, very strong. So I dilute it to a really, really weak solution, but I add that to my plant water. You can also soak some eggshells. You can use, if you have like canned vegetables, you can use a little bit of that. Like if you have green beans, you can empty some of that, but not too much because it contains a lot of salt. The low salt variety is better. Salt will kill your plants. So I choose like one day a week. I water my plants on Sunday. That keeps me from over watering, but I go room by room and just water all my plants one day a week. That way I don't overwater, because if you overwater, it is going to be the death of your plants. So just be cautious with how much water you use and adjust as to whether or not you have a drainage pot or a pot that doesn't have drainage. You want to water those less. So let's recap why we want to add plants to our living space. They help to clean the air. They're uplifting. They're a sense of life. When we nurture them and see them grow, it makes us happy. And they just bring the outdoors in, so it's a bit of nature coming into our space. And of course, any connection with nature has a huge psychological benefits. So particularly during the winter, when most of the outside is cold and dreary and all the plants have lost their leaves and everything looks brown, having plants on the inside is really going to uplift your space, uplift your mood. It's going to enhance your happiness, and it's going to transform your living space. Okay, so that is our little topic for today. Using what you have to bring plants into your living space to enhance your happiness and transform your life. I'm the Organizer Advisor. Please connect with me if you need a personal consultation. We can connect via Zoom, and we can have a 30-minute session for $25 where I can give you my best advice on how to enhance your happiness and transform your life. I hope you have a wonderful day. and say hi to your plants. I'll see you next time.